It's about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo will win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent...
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round. Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello out there, and thank God it's Friday, and you're welcome to today's episode of Sports Orbit right here from the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Alpha Chose. Fidelis once again makes a glorious return once again to today's episode of Sports Orbit. Fidelis, welcome once again.
Really a glorious return. Thank you, Alpha. Good afternoon, sport fans out there. Nice to be on the show today.
Yeah, on today's episode of Sports Orbit, as we all are aware, it's a Friday, and so we have a lot of interesting sports stories to give to you. Of course, the EPL is on this weekend. The MPFL also will be on this weekend, and of course, yesterday we also saw some matches go down in the semi-final of both the Conference League and the Europa League, and that and so much more will give to you in the course of this program. But first, we'll begin from the home front, where the Ministry of Sports has reshuffled the secretaries of all federations. The Sports Ministry carried out the shake-up of sports federation secretaries. The reorganization brought a close to weeks of anxiety and speculation in the sports sector as the long-awaited list of postings emerged. According to the new setup of federations, the AFN, that's talking about Athletics Federation of Nigeria, has Niyi Beoku as the new secretary, while for aquatics, we have Sani Mohammed. For boxing is Dapo Akinyele, while basketball has Peter Njoko as secretary. And for the Chess Federation is Olaba Bowale Adeoshun, cycling Mark Pashama, weightlifting Melvina Ape, while judo has Abbas Wosilat and taekwondo has Kabir Yusuf. And other secretaries also were appointed for rowing and yachting, wrestling, which has Mohammed Megida Sama, tennis Abolude Oludayo, while Umar Ladobu is for handball. Others are for powerlifting, gymnastics, table tennis, badminton, and of course, Scrabble. We hope with this reshuffling, we hope the new secretaries of these federations will get down to business and to the running of the federations as it's supposed to be. Anyway, away from that now to the WAFU Under-17 tournament that is coming up by June. But of course, Under-17 coach Nduka Ogbade is already right here in Abuja, and we learned that, of course, over 100 players actually stormed the MKO Abiola Stadium for a screening for a chance to be a part of the Golden Eaglets team that will participate in that WAFU tournament slated in Cape Coast, Ghana from June 11 to 24, 2022. Of course, Nigeria's Golden Eaglets are in Group A alongside host Ghana. Togo, Group B has Cote d'Ivoire, Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, and Niger Republic. Of course, as many as over 100 players tried their luck in the session held by Ubade with all his assistants in attendance. I mean, Golden Eaglets are trying to assemble and prepare for the WAFU Under-17. But what really amazed a lot of us was to find out on that day at the stadium, actually at the Package B of the National Stadium, that over 100 youngsters who are hoping to have a chance to represent Nigeria in an old Greek competition were there at the stadium to screen for participation. Don't you think 100 players? So how it means the coaches will have a lot to do in pruning down these 100 players to get your final 24 or 26 or 30 players, as the case may be.
Seriously, that's a lot. You need just 22, and now you have 100 players available. Well, that's a whole lot. How would they do the sorting?
Yeah.
Would they have to play all the 100 players?
Because I was wondering too, how do you arrive at your final 24 or 27 players?
How do you feature all the 100 into your screening criteria? Well, maybe they have lots of criteria they will use for the screening. I don't know, but then
definitely
this is football. If you are screening 100 players, it means they all will have to play. You have to see how they can play.
Yeah, of course.
You have to see how they can play well before you make your selection. So how do they now feature all the 100 players and watch them play for hours, before they can make their selection? That would be that would be quite some task to do for the people that will be selecting the players. That would be so much. But then let's just see how it goes. But Also to speak about the under 17, the under 17 has really done a lot of good for this country. The Golden Eaglets, and don't forget that most of our big stars we have in the senior team today, they all came through the
under 17,
under 17.
And the Golden Eaglets has even won the under 17 World Cup a record 4 times.
Sure. When you talk about Golden Eaglets, names that comes to your mind, you can remember Mikel, Jonathan Mikel, Taiwo,
even one Kokano, likes of Wilson Oruma, lots of them.
Yeah, even though there are still some others that we don't really know how they are doing. Now you can remember Isaac Promise, Chris Santos, a lot of players has really, come from
the Taiwo one.
Yes,
lots of them.
A lot of players have really come through for the Super Eagles or from the Golden Eaglet stage. So we just hope that they get this one right as well, and not forgetting that this would be the criteria for qualifying for the African Nations Cup. So it will. I think it's quite a very important tournament for them. Let's see how they will make their selections, and we hope they are able to make the right selections to see how they will progress and qualify for the Nations Cup in Algeria.
Of course, the Golden Eaglets, who are 5-time world champions, actually not 4 times, they won that competition 5 times. I wish we could have been able to transmit this success to when it comes to the Super Eagles, but we've won the World Youth Championships 5 times. That's a record for any country. The Golden Eaglets will be in Ghana in June for the sub-regional tournament. That's talking about WAFU, that is the West African Football Union under 17 tournament, and that tournament will also serve as, like Fidelis rightly said, qualifiers for AFCON Youth Championship 2023, which will be hosted by Algeria later in the year. Away from that, now to the NPFL, where of course a lot of interesting matches have been lined up in the NPFL this weekend, beginning from tomorrow. Of course, a lot of heavyweight clashes they are out there. Of course, it will be Headland up against Abia Warriors. That is some sort of, that's actually an Eastern derby, if you ask me. Eyimba will be at home to Gombe United, while Niger Tornadoes will host Kano Pillars. Right here, Kano Pillars were banished from their stadium in Kano after crowd violence when they took on Katsina United about 2 weeks ago. So they've been banished, and right now they play their home matches in right here in Abuja, Moshood Abiola Stadium, actually. But making the trip to Niger Tornadoes out there in Mina will be kind of a short journey. Dakada FC will be hosting Plateau United, while Katsina United will welcome champions Akwa United. In the other game, league leaders Rivers United will travel all the way to Ilorin to confront Kwara United, while Lobby Stars of Makodi, still trying to gain some consistency, will actually be playing a North Central derby with their neighbors, Nasarawa United. Enugu Rangers will be in Lagos to confront MFM, while Remo Stars will host Wiki Tourist. Well, the other game will be Sunshine Stars of Akure. That's also a Southwest derby. We'll be having about 2-3 derbies this weekend. Sunshine Stars will be hosting of Akure, that is, will be hosting neighbors Shooting Stars of Ibadan. And that was really looking at this match is a bit of heavyweight clashes there, but Sunshine Stars, Shooting Stars, this is Southwest derby. This is going to likely be a tough one, if you ask me.
Yeah, sure. Also, looking at Rivers United, just hope they are able to.
Yeah, league leaders.
They are the league leaders. Really, they are able to maintain their lead until the end of the season. And I think so much for the NPFL recently with the speculations of what do you call it, that there are some irregularities in officiating. And
we always had those issues in the NPFL.
So much for the NPFL. To the extent that a lot of people comes out to say that we were right before the beginning of the season, they know who would win the competition, match fixing and all those things. So much for the NPFL, But then we just hope that those things don't get to affect the players, and they just be in their best form to win for their respective teams, And also looking at Eyimba, Whenever I hear the name Enyimba, I just wonder. I remember those days when Enyimba used to be the ones flying the flag for the NPF. You always see them Enyimba against Casablanca of Morocco. Such competitions are one of the best. They are some of the best competitions we have back then. In terms of African league football, but then we just hope that Enyimba also we be able to get back in form, get back to those days where they always get to top the league and play good football to represent Nigeria.
Yeah, completely. So a lot of matches beginning from tomorrow. That is, to keeping an eye on all of those matches, and we'll give you a complete review of those matches as they pan out. Now to the, of course, Europa Conference League, where last night Kelechi Iheanacho and Ademola Lookman were in action as Leicester City played out a 1-1 draw against Jose Mourinho's FC Roma in that one. They will be returning to Italy next week to play the return leg, but Brendan Rodgers has insisted the duo of Kelechi Iheanacho and Ademola Lookman, including their teammates, can reach the Europa Conference final at the expense of Roma, despite a 1-1 draw at the King Power Stadium out there in England. Do you think Leicester have what it takes to make this final?
Well, for Roma now, things are not quite going so well for them. Things are not going the way Mourinho expected things to go for him. They are not in their best at this time. But then you have to know Mourinho is always Mourinho.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Conference League, Champions League, whatever league it is, as long as it's a final, Mourinho always gives him his best to make sure he wins it, because at the end it's going to add up for his record. He has won it,
Yeah.
But then now that Leicester will be going away to Roma for the returning leg, I think it's going to be quite a difficult one for Leicester City. But then that you can't just rule them out of the competition as of now. So we just hope they will be able to get their confidence, go there and win. But then they shouldn't underestimate what the Mourinho side can do, especially now that a final spot is involved. Mourinho can give him whatever he has to do to make sure he wins that. So we just hope that they will be able to go there and win. And it's a 50-50 thing,
Yeah.
Both sides are good. Even though they are not in their best forms at the moment. But then they play good football. So let's just see how it goes. I'm confident that Leicester City can go to Roma and win the match.
Yeah, of course. In the other match yesterday was Feyenoord versus Marseille, which ended 3-2 in favor of the Dutch side, talking about Feyenoord. So Feyenoord will be going away to France to play Marseille in that a return leg. Well, it's not yet victory yet for Feyenoord, as 3-2 is slim scoreline. Going away to Marseille will be a difficult one, but we'll see how that pans out, and we'll see who eventually emerges, takes the next step to the final of the Conference League. Also, some games also went down in the Europa League last night. Also, RB Leipzig of Germany 1-0 winners over Rangers FC of Scotland. While for West Ham, they fell 1-2 at home to Frankfurt of Germany. Remember that Frankfurt have been on a winning run, knocking out Barcelona, effectively ending up their hopes of winning any trophy this season. And Feyenoord took that one away to West Ham, and they have 1 foot already in the final. Then for Rangers, where we have 3 Nigerians in the person of Joe Aribo and Calvin Bassey, 2 Nigerians. Actually, it was not too good for them. 1-0 losing away to RB Leipzig, but they have a chance to even things out when they welcome Leipzig to Scotland next week. So looking at these matches, do you think West Ham have what it takes to defeat Frankfurt away, and do you think Rangers will be able to get the job done at home when they welcome Leipzig next week?
With what Frankfurt played at Camp Nou, I'm not surprised at these results. I think my only surprise would be that it ended 2-1. They had just 2 goals, because those guys, all their force is on attack. When they get the ball, the only thing they think of is attack. and they are so good at it. Even when you think you have the best defense, somehow they just manage to get through your defense and they get the goals in. So they are playing so well at the moment. And West Ham going away to the German side now to in the second leg. I really don't think West Ham will be able to overturn this deficit and win at Frankfurt at home. So I see Frankfurt going into the final of the competition, and also for Leipzig and the Rangers. Rangers they still like rightly said, they still have a chance to go to the final. And that's if they're able to equalize and go on to win in the returning leg. But then Leipzig too, somehow you just see them playing some good football and they score goals as well. So it will be quite a very difficult task for Rangers. But then nothing is too difficult and nothing is impossible in football most times.
Yeah, I mean, we will be watching down, but of course, for me, I'm solidly rooting for Rangers, being that we have at least two Nigerian representatives in that one. So I'll be rooting for Rangers to go all the way in that one. Away from that now to the Syria where AC Milan striker Olivier Giroud has told his teammates that the Scudetto is in their hands. That's talking about after Inter Milan were defeated at the weekend during the week by Bologna, and that defeat has left Inter 2 points adrift of leaders AC Milan. Giroud said the most important thing is that Inter lost at Bologna, so we have our destiny in our hands. We must remain concentrated on our football. I think we are more fired up after Inter's defeat. We have the humility and confidence to keep winning every game. I mean, for AC Milan, in recent years, AC Milan haven't been really doing too well, but come this season and AC Milan just suddenly picked up one, and now they are looking very, very likely to win the Scudetto, though they are 2 points separate them, but all AC Milan needs to do is win the remaining of their games and they'll be champions again after the last time they were champions was in 2011. That's over, that's about, how many years? 12 years?
Like 12, yeah, 12 years. Yeah.
12 years.
And like you rightly said, they've not had their hands on that title for quite a very long, I can call it a very long time.
Even playing the Champions League, AC Milan have missing for a long
they've
while.
been missing for some time now too. So I think that's really not good for them. AC Milan, they are one of the top teams you mentioned in football, and then not being able to get their hands on any meaningful title in recent years is worrisome. So now that they are on top of the Serie A table, I think they just have to do whatever they have to do to make sure they win the match. And now the gap is not so much, just 2 points. They are leading the table with just 2 points with Inter behind them. Don't forget that Inter too, they are doing all they can to make sure they retain the title. So I think it will be a very difficult one for Milan, AC Milan. But then it's not impossible. All they just have to do is to make sure they win the remaining four games in the competition. They can win the remaining 4 games, then they have their hands on the title, and that 4 games translate into 12 points. So that's a lot considering the point gap between them and the second position. So that's a whole lot. So we just hope they get to win their 4 remaining matches and get the title, because it will be a very glorious moment for them if they can get their hands on this one.
Of course, and as it stands, AC Milan are on top of the table while Inter follow closely. And of course, Napoli are there in 3rd place, while perennial winners Juventus haven't been having it good this season, also number 4. While Jose Mourinho moving to Roma, some people thought he might spring up some magic to get Roma back into winning ways, but Roma are out there languishing in the 5th position, while 6th position has Lazio. Number 7 is Fiorentina, while Atalanta out there at number 8, while Verona is number 9, and Sassuolo makes up the top 10 as it stands for now. And away from that now to the English Premier League, where one match was played yesterday. Of course, it was a match that a lot of people look for with high anticipation, but I don't think it lived up to the hype as the match ended in the 1-1 draw. That's talking about Chelsea versus Manchester United. where it was a 1-1 draw. That is now the fourth successive draw United and Chelsea will be playing in the Premier League. Of course, Chelsea took the lead through Marcos Alonso, but Cristiano Ronaldo restored parity exactly 1 minute later to level the score at 1-1. Although, but looking at that match, Chelsea had all it takes to wrap up that game, even in the first half. But somehow, a lot of chances. I really don't know what happened to Chelsea yesterday because they looked like the side who looked like winning the matches, but a lot of chances were simply not taken. And of course, credit to David Gea, who also did a good job of pulling up so many fantastic saves.
Surely, if you want to take a look at the recent form of both teams, you will definitely give all to Chelsea to go to win that match yesterday. So I'm just surprised that it ended in a 1-1 draw because Manchester United they've not been doing well
Yeah,
this
in
season. I
recent
don't know.
times.
It seems no one just has the explanation of what exactly is wrong with Manchester United. So they really had a poor run this season. And if not for Ronaldo, that come out
Absolutely.
to save the team
Numerous times.
numerous times. I think I'm not sure they would have even been in the top 8 or even top 10.
In fact, in their last 8 matches, Ronaldo has scored. Sorry, last 9 matches, Ronaldo has scored 8 goals in the last 9
goals.
matches.
So he seems like he's the one that has been trying to drag the team along. So much is just wrong with Manchester United at this time, and it's quite unfortunate for Chelsea that they couldn't get their chance and um, win that match. Not forgetting that Arsenal they did justice to Manchester United just recently. It's unfortunate that Chelsea couldn't learn from what Arsenal did and as well get their own 3 points. But it wasn't really a poor display though. They had to share the points, one point each. But then we just hope that Manchester United can get their reading back, and get to be a top contender in the English football.
All right, we'll take a look at EPL fixtures for this weekend, where interesting matches also coming up this weekend. Of course, the early kickoff for tomorrow is Newcastle, who will be at home to Liverpool, while Aston Villa will host Norwich City. Southampton will also welcome Crystal Palace as Burnley travels to play Watford out there. Well, it will be Brighton versus Wolves, and Leeds United will have their hands full as champions Man City. Looking for a back-to-back title, will travel all the way to play Leeds. Of course, Everton, Frank Lampard, former Chelsea legend, now Everton manager, will be welcoming his former side to Everton, and let's see how that one pans out. While, of course, I think a big game awaits Tottenham in the shape of Leicester City. Another West London derby, actually. Not okay. London derby, not but the London derby. West Ham versus Arsenal. That should be a match to look out for because West Ham has a way of really threatening their London rivals these days. While United will also be at home to Brentford, who also have a habit of pulling up surprises against big teams. Looking at these matches, clearly West Ham, Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea. Do you think Lampard can spring up some magic to upset his former side?
I really don't see Lampard able to beat Chelsea at this moment. Yes, Chelsea they may not have won their last match, but then you can say that they are playing some good football recently. Even though they just crashed out of the Champions League, but then you can't take that away from them. They were still able to score 3 goals. They almost overran Real Madrid in that match. You can see them. They still play good football and they still win matches. They score goals, which is one of the most important things. They score goals, so you really can't take that away from Chelsea at this time. So I don't see Everton able to beat Chelsea. And also, in the Premier League is apart from Liverpool and Manchester City, one of them is waiting for the other to lose so that they can they can overthrow themselves. I think from the 3rd position down is the battle for top 4, between Chelsea, Arsenal, Man U, and Tottenham. So it's the battle for top 4 with a few matches left in this season. It's a battle for top 4. So I don't hope I don't just hope any of them will be in the position of losing matches at this time, because it might be quite deadly for them, especially talking about Arsenal and Tottenham. It's really a head-to-head between the both of them. So if any of them get to lose any match at this weekend, it means one of them can shake off the other one. So I think they just have to find a way to hold their positions at this time. But for the title winners, is definitely between Liverpool and Manchester City. Whoever loses and whoever wins, then that's quite some battle for the both of them.
All right, interesting matches to look out for, but as it stands, Man City are still on top, a point above Liverpool, while number 2, while Chelsea are there number 3. For now, Arsenal number 4, Tottenham 5, Man United in 6th position, while West Ham, Europa League semi-finalists, out there in 7th position. I think for West Ham, they should be even striving to see if they can even win the Europa League.
Yeah, sure,
because
that will
get an
guarantee
automatic qualification to the
qualification,
Champions League. Yeah, of course, Wolves in number 8, and Newcastle, who at the point in this season were almost heading for relegation, have broken into the top 10 and are actually above Leicester City in that one. I mean, interesting times for.
And just to add as well, the condition of Manchester United is quite critical at this point, because even if they end the league like this in this position, that may not even guarantee them a spot in the Europa League. Because if Leicester City wins the Conference League, that means automatic qualification to the Europa League.
Yeah, but Europa, 3 teams actually go to the Europa.
Okay.
So maybe it might be Leicester, then maybe number 6
West Ham,
and 7.
If West Ham wins,
if West Ham wins the Europa, they'll go to the Champions League.
They'll go to the Champions League.
So England might have 5 teams in the Champions League, like a season where Chelsea came 7 but won the Champions League. So that's happened. Well, let's see how it pans out. United, 4 matches to go. If they are able to win all of the matches, they might stand a chance of doing something, but it's really, really difficult, because a lot of points have been lost in the past couple of weeks, with a lot of matches drawn and either losing or something like that. And we'll keep an eye on all these interesting games, and on Monday, hopefully, we'll come back and give you a complete review of that and all of the other sporting events going down this weekend. Fidelis, once again, thank you for spending the last couple of minutes talking sports with me right here in the studio. All right, until we come your way with another wonderful and exciting episode of Sports Orbit next week. Stay safe out there. Happy weekend. And of course, Salah is also coming up. So I wish Muslim brothers out there a happy Salah in advance. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful celebration, and it's goodbye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.